What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and as always, thank you for clicking on this video. Today we're gonna talk about the new Batman trailer. Warner Brothers is calling it The Bat and the Cat. Just gonna talk about some few things that I saw here, give my little quick review, and as well as some of my predictions. So if you like this type of content, you like to talk movies, go ahead and smash that like button and the subscribe button as well. So now let's go ahead and talk about this new trailer, The Bat and the Cat. I did read online that supposedly this movie is gonna is gonna feature Bruce's story of how he was an orphan with the Riddler, and Wayne Manor supposedly is gonna be an orphanage where they both were. But so if if that's the case, I think that's why it makes sense for the Riddler to be like on his butt all the time, constantly, because it seems to be like he's the only one that knows who Bruce is. It seems that he knows he's gonna be one of the first people to know who Bruce really is, and that's why he's on him. And I think there's gonna be a mystery behind the Waynes, behind Bruce's parents, and that's why it's just part of this trailer where he tells Alfred, "Hey, Alfred, you lied to me. Why would you lie to me?" And I think Alfred knows something. I think this orphanage is probably, it could be just a cover up for something that his parents were doing, or in the eyes of the Riddler and as well as the majority of Gotham, this orphanage is probably just a cover up for something. They were probably into some funny business, who knows. It could look like the Waynes were trying to do something positive for the community, but in reality they were up to something. That's my prediction, and I think that's why that's going to be kind of Riddler's motivation to start doing his thing and really start going after Bruce. And since they're both starting out pretty much, and I think that's a great opportunity for Bruce to have that good development, a good character arc, because since he is starting out as the Batman, he's probably gonna start out with a certain mentality, but after learning whatever happened with his parents, whatever happened in the past, I mean, other than his parents dying, we all know how that happens. But since we already seen it, I think we're gonna delve into something else that we haven't really dwelled on other than his parents dying. We're really gonna see a story behind what they did when he was a kid before they died, and that's gonna give Bruce that character arc. And after discovering whatever that discovery is, whatever that mystery that he will solve, it's gonna change his mentality. He's gonna have that character arc, and it's gonna be like a setup for the future Batman that we could get. And being that the Riddler is the villain, you could say the first villain in this new series, this new franchise, whatever they're calling it, it's gonna be his first challenge at being a detective as well. Since Batman does work with police, I think it's gonna be his first big challenge that's gonna it's gonna make him learn the tropes, learn the ropes about being a detective. And what better way to have his first big challenge than the Riddler? So I'm definitely excited to see where they're gonna take this. It looks like this movie not only looks good, but if they do dwell into the predictions and theories that I just mentioned, I think that would be written very well. It looks like this movie is gonna be written very well. I'm definitely excited to see what they're gonna do. No Way Home was probably the most anticipated movie of this year, of 2021, but it looks like the Batman is gonna take most anticipated movie for 2022, because everyone is so hyped for this, including myself. So I definitely can't wait to see what they will be doing. Alright, so now let's get into some of the comments here. Mr. Krepsher says the cinematography looks gorgeous, and also everything else looks sick too. I highly agree. It reminds me a lot of the Arkham games. It looks like they're going more of a comic book accurate when it comes to the visuals. Versus Music Official says justice, the answer's justice. Yeah, it looks like the Riddler gave him a riddle there, and the answer is probably going to be in the Riddler's mind is something else, but then Batman kind of just flips it around and says, you know what, the answer is justice. Like I said earlier, it's going to be that character arc. Just like Akash Verma here says, I have a feeling that Bruce is going to undergo a realization that being Batman is not about vengeance, but justice over the course of the movie. Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be the setup for his Batman mentality that we're gonna get in the future. Every time I see a new trailer like this, movie looks better and better. Can't wait to see it. It does. The first few trailers, they weren't really giving out a lot, but this one, I think it ties in more with what we've been getting, with what the story is going to be about. Emu, however you say that, Robert Pattinson changed millions of opinions with 2 words in a teaser trailer. The more I see of him, the more I think he's going to be the greatest Batman we will see for decades. Yeah, I think whoever was nervous, I understand a lot of people were probably nervous about Robert Pattinson being the Batman because he has that bad reputation of Twilight. But from what I've heard, is that he is a good actor if you give him the right stuff. I heard that he does have a lot of range. That he's really good. I think it's just that bad reputation that he had from Twilight, and we're way past that. I don't think we should rely on seeing that. Everybody has all actors have a bad movie or bad movies that they don't like to talk about, but it's either they're just starting out, it's just something that completely flopped. But hopefully this brings them not only the Batman back, not only brings that character back to what in a way that it's meant to be, but just Robert Pattinson's career. Geosword 6, that sounds like it's going to have a great soundtrack too. A memorable and fitting score can elevate a great film to the legendary status. That is absolutely true. All the great films that were done right had a absolutely great score, great musical score that's very memorable. This one, I think it's going to be hitting that memorable vibe as well, because every time I hear it, I automatically think, yeah, it's the Batman. It's Matt Reeves' Batman. And says the fight choreography looks like the best we've seen in a Batman film yet. I'm sick of reboots as much as the next person, but they really sold me with the trailers. Yeah, especially when it comes to Catwoman fighting. It looks very accurately to something that she would do, because she's doing a lot with her legs. She's doing all these kicks and spins, doing all that while on the ground. Very Catwoman-like. Toby says, I love that they're actually exploring Batman and Catwoman's relationship in this. I feel like we haven't really seen their dynamic on full display, so I hope this film accomplishes that. That's also very true, and I think they're going to take advantage and show a little bit of Selina's backstory. But I hope they're careful with that, because when they try to show, when it's multiple characters and they try to put a lot of origin story, that's usually when it doesn't turn out as well. So I am a little nervous about that, but hopefully they don't convolute the whole story. Savage says, I don't care how many iterations or reboots they do, I'm always here for the next Batman saga. I thought I wasn't ready, but this trailer, it got me. I'm hooked once again. That is very true. I'm obviously kind of mixed, because I'm always very nervous of who's going to play the Batman next, since we're always getting all these reboots, recasting. And I think after Christopher Nolan's Batman, it's when it was starting to get like a little bit too repetitive of all these. I was like, Ben Affleck, I wasn't a big fan of Ben Affleck. And obviously Michael Keaton will always be the OG of the Batman. A lot of people grew up with him. I grew up watching him, even though it was in the early 90s when I was watching his Batman movie, even though it came out in 89, but I wasn't born at the time. But still, I love Christian Bale. But even though a lot of people would like to see him come back, Ben Affleck's kind of mixed. A lot of people have mixed reviews, but I want to see what Robert Pattinson brings to the table. Demon Joe says, I haven't been this hyped for a movie in a long time. Edit, yes, No Way Home was great and ranks top 5 for superhero movies for me, but I'm not that big of a Marvel fan, hence me being more excited for Batman. I agree. No Way Home was definitely the most anticipated movie of 2021. I was really hyped for that. But me, I love Batman as well. I'm not one of those people that'll be like, yeah, Marvel versus DC. Whether they're competing or not, who knows? Who cares? Just watch the damn movie, and if it's good, it's good. Doesn't mean that we have to be like, oh yeah, DC's back, the DCU, DC's doing it better, blah blah blah. Just watch the damn movie, enjoy. JR Spash Muffin Man says, this trailer has sold me. I was a bit unsure about this film before, but this trailer impressed me. Patterson, I think he meant Pattinson, looks like he'll be a different kind of Bruce/Batman. I'm looking forward to seeing his full performance. Highly agree. I was also kind of skeptical, because again, another reboot. That's kind of normal now for the Batman franchise, but I definitely want to see what Robert Pattinson is gonna do with this character. Sujith Vinny says 134 is so sick that the bullets match up to the music. Oh yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the trailer. I wonder if that's gonna be in the movie as well, but maybe it's just for the trailer. Francis Tilonga says I could never imagine him to play Bruce Wayne, but I'm so mistaken. Cold-hearted Bruce with nothing to lose. Exact depiction in my opinion. Hell yeah, I definitely agree. I never pictured freaking Edward playing the Batman, but I think he could be perfect for this origin story, somewhat of an origin story, since it's not going to be him as a kid, but him just barely starting as the Batman, and he really just doesn't know how to deal with all this. And that was it. Those are my thoughts. A little bit of the discussion there from the comments for the new trailer for the Batman coming next year in 2022. But I want to know from you guys, what are your thoughts? What are your predictions on this trailer, on the movie in general? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, then smash that like button and the subscribe button as well. It only takes a second, and that second will be highly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep watching this channel and keep watching movies.